why don't you start out by telling everybody what the worker proposal was that you put out, and what led you guys to do a joint worker proposal?
We love working with each other. We've worked with each other in real life outside of this crypto space in the past, and so we keep like kind of crossing paths and like helping each other out, but never had the opportunity to actually work together until this. And then we didn't even know if it was going to work out. So our skill sets actually are really complementary to one another. So we reached out to the Telos Foundation and said, this is what we're thinking about. What do you guys think? Are you interested in collaborating with us? Understanding that the Telos Foundation's mission is to promote the network and provide grants. We could see that there was a need, and they have really used a lot of their resources to help Telos get listed on exchanges and that sort of thing. There were not enough funds to hire staff or anything like that, so it's just been a volunteer effort by the board members who are all employed elsewhere, and so they've really put out a lot of work and time and energy. We saw a need, and we have certain skills that would be really useful with the Telos Foundation mission. So we kind of just created a proposal and shared that with them as a proposal for a proposal, and they liked it, and then we launched our worker proposal to see if the community would support us, and they did.
Well, Katie, you go back a little ways in the in the EOSIO industry, because you were back with EOS Go, in the early days. So yeah. You have seen an amazing change or transformation in this industry, haven't you?
I mean, yeah, crypto's like one of those spaces where if you've been in it for maybe 2 years, it's like you're old timer.
That's true.
Those people that started in Bitcoin, they're really OG. But yeah, it's been interesting to see EOS evolve and then kind of see these sister chains come out, Werbly, Telos, etc., and kind of tracking their progress and seeing how they've really been helping each other as far as updates and the creativity of the different communities. So that's been pretty cool to see.
I like the fact that you were, diehard EOS, and now you are on the Telos team. We've sort of noticed a trend there. It seems like a lot of Michael calls them the organics, which are the VPs and those that are kind of, they came into the industry old school way,
the ones we vote for.
Exactly.
I hope that I can just contribute to Telos and help grow the chain.
Whose idea was it to join Telos?
Oh,
CJ's.
No, it was yours.
What? No, it was yours. What?
No, it was her. I'm pointing down because
but
she's
this
underneath
is
me on my
honestly
screen.
a misunderstanding or communication, because I don't recall that.
Back in the olden days of Telos, when there was a super secret chat of the people who were starting it, you were in there and I wasn't.
That's very telling.
And so she was the one who told me, have you heard about this? And I was like, no, what is it? But I give her the credit.
Well, I had just no, okay, because now it's coming back to me. Fuzzy was really, gung-ho from the beginning on chains and sister chains and side chains. And so he has been kind of a mentor to me, and he was like, no, like, we're not just going to have EOS. We're going to have a ton of stuff. And so, like, he would explain to me how that was going. So now I do remember when Telos was saying I was launching, I did feel really supportive of it because Fuzzy had already warmed me up to those ideas, like, before the general community, I think. And now I think the community is fully embracing sister chains and side chains, as Thomas Cox calls them. But why I say CJ is because shortly after, I was talking about Telos and learning about Telos, I got a job with EOS Asia for the EOS network. They're a block producer there. But CJ went full hog with Telos, and she kept telling me, she was like, you need to just quit and come to Telos. And she has been beating that drum forever. And then EOS Asia and I parted ways on great terms. And so she was like, all right, now you have no excuse. You are just coming on over.
Essentially, all you have to do is prepare your proposal and then open up your Squirrel wallet with the account that you're going to use for the proposal, for the payments and stuff. And then you just, it just opens up a little dialog box, and you just fill in the blanks and make sure you have enough Telos in the account for your 3%, what do you call it, deposit.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so it's just, you have to put in the name of your proposal, and then you fill out the details. And if you're requesting more than one, it's important to remember, if you're requesting more than one cycle, like say you want to run this for, like ours is for 3 cycles, then you need to put in that you are the monthly, or the amount that you're going to get per cycle, not the total amount, just each cycle. Okay. So if you want 20,000 tokens for 3 cycles, then you're just going to put 20,000 in, and then your proposal will have to be voted on each cycle. This is an important thing to remember, because a lot of people don't realize that your proposal voting is only good for 1 cycle. So at the end of the cycle, if that worker proposal passed and you voted for it and you want it to continue, you have to re-vote.
Wow, I did not know that.
It's actually pretty cool, though, because it's not something that's automatic. People need to engage with the community. They need to make sure that this is something that should be renewed. And I think it's important for the community to actually regularly vote and check in and be involved and assess, did this worker proposal do what it said it was going to do? Is this something we still need in the community? So those are things that the voters should be aware of. And also people who've made proposals, they need to be aware that they need to go out and make sure that people are voting for them if they want to continue on.
Thanks for the reminder. I need to re-vote for WordProof.
It's a close. I mean, I think everybody's assuming it's going to go once everybody kind of commits, but it was 50%, I think.
Oh gosh. No, we like that. We want to use WordProof.
Yeah, we actually have that. We're beta testers for our website that we created. It's going to be where we do our reports for our worker proposal. So it'll be saved on the blockchain. It's kind of exciting. It's really important to make sure that you're just engaged as a person who's making a proposal and as a voter, to make sure that the proposal is valid and it still needs to be voted for. Some proposals are only one-off, 1 cycle, they're not doing that. But the important thing to remember when you're creating your proposal is make sure that it's the amount is not the total amount for multiple cycles. It's just a single cycle, and then it gets renewed.
And wasn't there something with the precision? Somebody entered a worker proposal for $3 or no?
Yes.
There's 3 Telos.
So I actually I messaged Marlon from Squirrel about that, and to see if you still need to put in 4 decimals for your Telos. Mm-hmm. Because when we did it, you have to add 4 extra zeros at the end. Otherwise, you're gonna, like, if say you were doing it for 10,000 Telos, that's 4 zeros, you would end up with 1 Telos, because the last 4 numbers are after the decimal point.
I think somebody put one in for 3,000 Telos, and ultimately it went through as 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like nothing. So yeah, there was like one that went in for 15,000, and then it was 1.5 Telos.
There you go.
Hopefully.
Anyway, I'm used to it because I always got to deal with the 4 decimal precision points, you know. But
Right.
Well, for marketing people like us, this is, that's a lot of decimal points.
you definitely need a little pop-up asterisk flashing marquee that says, "Hey," or just get Marlon to program it and said, "No, I'll take care."
Well, he might have, I don't know. So it's something to look into and make sure and double check on before you submit a proposal to make sure that it's actually going to be the amount that you want it for.
In summary, anyone who's interested in doing a worker proposal on Telos could go to their Squirrel wallet, and from there they can actually create a worker proposal, right? That would then need to be voted on 55% yes to no in a 29-day period, correct?
Yes.
And if you have multiple cycles, each cycle has to be voted on independently, or it just falls off and then you have to re-propose, I guess. Is that right?
Yes.
When exactly was your proposal approved?
May 16th.
Okay, so it's been a few weeks. Have you guys, what kind of things have you guys been able to accomplish in the last couple of weeks?
We've been working on a lot of editing and content creation for the Telos Foundation website. Like I said earlier, the foundation just has not had the manpower or the financial resources to invest in this up to this point. And most of the website is really still focused on pre-launch information. A lot of it's outdated and needs to be updated, and there needs to be more information that is relevant to what's happening now and how things have kind of hashed out and worked out in the last few months as far as how things work with Telos. That's our first priority, is creating a spot where people can land and learn. We want to be able to provide information for token holders, people who have are invested in the network in some way, whether whatever, but they own tokens for some reason. So information that you need to know, things you need to know as a token holder. As a dApp developer, absolutely, this is really important for people who are developing applications. Need to have information that helps them understand what they need to do, what the benefits are, how they can do it, who they can contact, and who can help them. And then obviously enterprise businesses that need blockchain solutions. We want to be able to provide resources for them. That when they hear about Telos, they're going to come looking at the Telos Foundation website, and they need to be able to at least be pointed in the direction of where they can go to launch. It's a weird situation because the network is a public blockchain and it's decentralized. There's not a centralized entity that can sign people up and get them going. And Telos Foundation isn't that. But the Telos Foundation is a resource for information where we can redirect people to trusted, vetted resources. I mean, I think it's important to just be able to put yourself out there and say, hey, this is something we're offering, or this is something that we do. And then we can list you as a resource.
CJ, I'd like to point out because collaborating with the board has been such an interesting and eye-opening experience, especially because the board, the way they work, it's, they're decentralized in a way. There's a lot of decentralization happening. So they have to come to consensus on many different things, which makes progress slower in some respects, but kind of honors the spirit of blockchain. And so when CJ was pitching why the first project we have to have is a kick-ass enterprise website that, really shows people that Telos is the real deal. It's not just some, garage shop blockchain among many. She was saying, look, right now, if we pour money into media, campaigns, getting on the Daily Show, right? We could put money in all these different places, and then at the end, we want a call to action for people what to do next. And what are most people going to do? They're going to Google Telos, blockchain Telos. We can spend money on all these other projects, but if we don't have somewhere to point people, that they can understand in an understandable way, it's lost money because who's going to care? It's like if I Googled that and then I found it, I'm like, oh, it's not even launched, and click and.
Right.
It's really important to have a funnel and in place and a landing page where people can come and get started and get the information that they need. Because if you're really trying to sell something and you don't have some place for people to go buy it, or the place where you have to buy it is like a hole in the wall, it's not good.
First impressions are everything.
Like Katie mentioned, it's working in a decentralized environment is a challenge. It just is, and would love for it to be a little bit more centralized. We're like, who's the project manager?
There's a lot of speculation that June 1st, I guess that's Saturday, that's what Block One's going to announce, is that they recreated an application that would help all of us organize ourselves, which I think would be brilliant, because it would move thousands of EOS Telos followers immediately off of Telegram and Slack.
I have not heard that rumor, but I like it.
I know. I mean, he already wrote Steam. He kind of knows how to do it, you know?
Yeah.
It would be nice to have some kind of central, decentralized place to go, you know? That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you ladies think is going to be the announcement? Do you have any speculations? Come on. You got something. I can tell. She's listening to scene. She wants to say something.
I know nothing.
Me either.
She's
No, I'm just smiling. Wait, who's smiling?
Both of you.
No, because you know why I'm smiling is because it's like it's one of those things where Stella Bell, she's well known in the community. Look her up, everyone. She's awesome.
I know her from Steam It.
Yeah, exactly. She's been around forever, and she's amazing. But she had posted like a meme of this person just with all these lines and drawing like crazy strings everywhere, conspiracy theories. She's like, us waiting for June 1st. That's like truly how I feel. Like every time I have that Dan Messenger that everyone subscribes to, that he starts talking, it's like,
I don't.
I don't.
I will subscribe to Dan's Messenger when he subscribes to mine.
Sassy. Katie, are you talking about the bot? What is it? The bot?
Dan Messenger bot. Yeah.
Dan Messenger only.
I can't keep up with EOS Telegram channel, but the bot's so cool. It just picks out what Dan.
I do have the Brendan Bloomer too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
On the note of B1 June, I think I told you, but we lined up an exclusive interview with Rob over at EOS Detroit.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
He's going to be in the meeting. So afterwards, he's going to step out and give us a call. So we're pretty excited about that.
That's cool.
That's a good get.
We're hoping to get something out before the video comes out. I mean, how awesome would that be? You know?
Yeah.
That might be
Yeah,
cool.
I have no idea about B1 other than just hearing them say stuff like, manage your expectations, people. And
Correct.
I'm like,
Yeah, they probably have
expect
to start
nothing.
saying, tone it down a little bit. You're going.
Don't be disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have to release a social media. I mean,
Whatever.
they don't do
A
that.
quarter of the chain memory now. I mean, we bought $20 million worth of RAM.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, what are they doing with that though? Because Brandon was like, no airdrops, no.
I don't know. I mean, we were kind of playing around with, how does B1 feel about, liquid apps and, kind of bolting that second layer on it? It solves some solutions. Well, that's a pretty big statement in itself, is that they didn't use VRAM. They dropped $20 million, monopolized a quarter of the entire current chain. I mean, we can expand it out, but
Wow.
It's going to be interesting. Are you going to be doing anything? Are you going to be sitting around on Saturday waiting for the information to come out? Or are you that excited about it or not really?
We're going to watch your show.
You go watch our show.
Good answer.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the show. There you have it.
Gonna watch our
Yeah,
show.
I think you ladies need to come on the show that day and let us know what you think about it.
We will have all found out what the news is. So we're just looking to get. We consider you two to be EOSIO personalities.
Oh gosh.
You have to get your
Well, I mean, you see what all the computer nerds we're all working with. So, I mean,
For people, I think that the bar is going to, especially if this proposal, the economic development proposal gets made and if it gets approved, I think it's important for people for the worker proposal system to actually kind of, the bar is going to go up. There's going to be, I think I'm hoping that we're going to see like really high quality proposals coming through, and it's important, I think, for people to recognize, if you're thinking about creating a worker proposal, that you should be thinking about what is going to benefit the network, what's going to benefit the community, and focus on initiatives that do that, and then creating something that is really compelling and appealing for people. So making sure that your presentation, everything is spelled right and it looks good, and that people are going to be able to look at it and follow it and want to adopt it because they see that you're serious and that you mean business. Have somebody look it over and make sure that the copy's been edited. Get feedback on it. Don't just come up with something on the fly and then throw it up there.
right.
You're gonna sit there and wait for 29 days for this thing to get voted on or not voted on. And
Once it's in. You don't edit it once it's in, right?
right, it goes on the chain. So
That's key.
one of my recommendations is to create it as a PDF, because you can maintain all of your styling and how it looks. It just pops up and you can see, oh, that looks nice. We spent like about a month working on really understanding what the needs were and then creating a proposal around that. It wasn't something that was just haphazard. It was really, we took our time. The other thing I would say is be reasonable on the timeline. Ours was for 3 months, and I think that's probably the outside anybody should be creating a proposal on. The token price can go up or down. If somebody were to put a proposal in for 6 months or a year, you're probably going to end up losing out. If the token price doubles or triples, nobody's going to want to pay you that amount of tokens when you put it in at 8 cents and now the token is at 20 cents. You're making bank. And so I think it's important to be reasonable about that and think about that. Ours was for a significant amount, so we wanted to not have to pay the deposit repeatedly, and we weren't sure, if it was going to pass, we didn't know what the community was going to do. So we were trying to weigh the pros and cons, and we also didn't understand that people were going to have to re-vote every month. So even just doing 1 month at a time is really fine. But think about that and be reasonable. A 6 month or a 12-month thing, it might seem small right now, but in 6 months it could be a significant amount of tokens and not really worthwhile. So I just think those are some things people should keep in mind when they're creating a worker proposal.
So basically they need to come up with their overall plan and then try and segment it out. What's realistic? Try and get this done inside of a few months or a month. What can I get done inside of one cycle? What can I get done inside of the next cycle? Is that basically what you're saying? Try and span it out. Okay.
Exactly. The decentralized nature of things is just a long learning curve if you've worked in any kind of a centralized environment, and I think most of us have. And there are positives and negatives to both things. I love the idea of being in a decentralized situation, because people are free to do what is important and what matters to them. At the same time, It is like herding cats. When you're trying to get things done, sometimes it can be really hard. And I think that anyone that's going to work in this space needs to understand that and be flexible and be persistent and patient. Like all of those things are important.
It reminds me of like GoFundMe or something. One of those, I mean, literally, there's money out there for you to go get if you're willing to, do something on this chain.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's really cool. And that would be one way for us to pitch Telos. I've been looking for the pitch. I just need someone to tell me the pitch. And there's probably 20 of them. And I'm cool with that, too. I'll pitch all 20. But what are they, And because you could tell someone, oh, well, we have a blockchain. And it's fast transactions. And they're like, whatever. I don't even know what that means, but when you tell them we got money and we're handing it out for development, then they're like, okay, well, what can I do? You know what I mean? How can I make this work? I mean, so we have funds that we can give you for proposals, right? But then maybe we as EOS USA do a lot of focus on showing those proposals and talking to the people that are doing the proposals and getting them on the channel and making it very well known that WordProof needs you to vote,
Yeah, I mean, and like you said earlier, everybody has to vote, re-vote, so, and any worker proposal that gets out there, you have to engage with the community. There's so many different things that you need to do. So it's, it's almost beneficial for somebody like yourselves that have this worker proposal out for every cycle to be, all right, well, this is what we got done, and this is what we're doing, and this is where we're going next, and remind everybody, come and vote, re-vote for the proposal.
When we went to the board with our proposal for a proposal, we listed out, and it's in the worker proposal, you can see it, what we thought were, the 5 or 6 most important initiatives to really raise awareness and then hopes to help raise token price. But we couldn't commit in that proposal to what that was going to be because we had to work with the board first, the foundation, to find out what their priorities were and what, they have a different perspective, more of an insider perspective. So we've established with them kind of 3 initiatives. The one we can speak about openly is the website. The other 2 are still waiting on certain consensus things to happen, but generally they're in line. So we're just kind of like, in our proposal, we said we're going to report to the community every 2 weeks with what we've done and the time we've put in and where projects are. It's going to be pretty fine grain, I think, compared to, what's out there now. CJ made a website with that, and she's using WordProof to stamp it on the blockchain.
We utilize Asana for our task management and our project management. So there's a lot of things that we are doing and working on, and we can literally like pull reports from that and go, these are all the things that we've accomplished. This is what we've been working on.
So you'll kind of see our progress every 2 weeks. We're hoping that every month when it's time to vote for us again, you could say, okay, they gave 2 reports. This is what they did. This is what they said they were going to do but didn't do, and this, X, Y, and Z, and then say, okay, are they worth the money to keep going?
As Katie said, it's a learning experience, but it's also it's really great to be working with people who are super committed to making Telos great. And I so appreciate the board and their efforts. I don't think people recognize how hard it is, I think, to be working, trying to do something and work, and then have this whole other thing that you're doing that's volunteer, and people go, oh, we need this exchange and get that exchange and do this and do that, and why can't the Telos Foundation do that? And it's like, these are 12 people who are volunteering their time to do something, and to date they have spent so much time and energy and have not been compensated in any way.
Working with the board has been such a great learning experience for me personally, and I can honestly say that they all seem to be very invested in Telos' success and that they are good people that want the best for the chain.